Hey Cancers, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for August 22nd through the 28th of 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link down below because the signs are different. All right, so Cancer, we have an important week here this week. Essentially what we have is we've got a Grand Cross forming up in the sky, and this is particularly involving the moon, who's going to be in the third quarter phase. So third quarter phase is about challenging ourselves to move things forward. And maybe last week during the full moon, you guys may have come to some awareness about the importance of what really matters in life and the deeper truth of things, as well as maybe even relationships, as it happened right on the cusp between your 8th and your 7th house. So anyways, a week of challenging ourselves, and this is seen by that moon, but also from Mars, who is going to be conjoining up to Saturn here opposite that in your 5th house. Okay, so the 5th house is the house of self-expression. And you guys have had Saturn here off and on going into this year. So if you've been feeling this year that it's been good for you to take your self-expression seriously, maybe some of you are having to work extra hard on the things that in the past may have normally been easier, you know, like your hobbies, your interests, the joys of life, the things that are close to your heart. But Saturn comes in here and makes sure everything is done grounded and for the long term, right? So you can discipline the self-expression and it can turn into something long-term and real. So lately, though, these past couple months, and particularly these past few weeks, when Mars has shifted into this 5th house, maybe recently you guys have had a bit more motivation or drive to maybe get involved with some of those interests or passions, or just to express yourself in very direct and independent ways. So now this conjunction is essentially merging the short-term burst of Mars, which is the short-term energy of wanting to, in this case, express yourself or connect to those things that you enjoy. And then Saturn's already here saying, but it takes patience, it takes discipline, it takes persistence, you know, this longer term energy. So it's about combining that, and I think it's an excellent week to challenge yourself to have that reserve and that disciplined approach to whatever might be manifesting. For each of you might be something different there. Some of you might be romance, others maybe with your children, others maybe your creative pursuits, again, anything close to the heart or our creation. So this is going to be the most important aspect of the week, and it is going to be exact here around Wednesday. And then as we go into the later part here on Friday, of course, since Saturn has been squaring up to Neptune, Mars will be squaring up to Neptune. So this is particularly about going with the flow and challenging ourselves spiritually, right? If you recall, I've been talking a lot about having this detached perspective with what we're building, you know, having faith, surrendering, and surrendering to that divine process of the outcome not being known, right? And if the mind tries to figure it out, if there's too much mental noise, it can confuse us, it can create doubt, but that doesn't have to be the case. We can, you know, as best as we can, have that presence and acceptance for things exactly how they are, and in that way, we are going with the flow, and that's a good way to challenge ourselves, you know, with whatever it is that you might be building or driven towards here this week, probably 5th house related. And Mars does also rule your guys' 10th house as well, your Aries 10th house. So here with this, maybe with your career, taking that stuff patiently, maybe your productive life, nice, slow and steady, and again, detaching from the outcomes there. You know, because as we detach, we allow things to unfold in a way we hadn't seen before, which is what Neptune shows us. Now, with all that aside, we do have Venus transitioning into Virgo, so there is this continuous shift taking place into your guys' 3rd house. You guys have had Jupiter recently go into here and Mercury as well, and we are going to have some conjunctions. In fact, right at the beginning of the week, Mercury will be conjoining Jupiter in the 3rd. So the 3rd house is the house of communication. It's the house of intellect, of learning. Things like reading and writing can be emphasized. You guys should have plenty of opportunities to really utilize that intellectual side of life for over the next year or more, which is Jupiter there. So it could be activated. You guys could be feeling at the beginning of the week maybe a burst of wanting to do that. Some of you might be picking up the book. Some of you might be taking a course. Some of you might be deciding you want to write or write a book, something like that. And that's a very good, those are some good examples of how you can work with this, because you do have those opportunities there. Jupiter shows us that, Jupiter shows us that there are these potentials. And when we're looking for potentials, then we have a bit of luck. We have a bit of opportunity that we would have normally not seen. Especially when Mercury comes in here, this is his natural domain, both of Virgo and of the third house. You know, he naturally rules Gemini as well. So anyways, Venus shifting into here about midweek, here around Wednesday, maybe enjoying some of that communicative correspondence, intellectually stimulating stuff. And then by the weekend, which is topping off the last aspect of the week, we will have Venus conjoining Jupiter, really emphasizing that. And again, maybe seeing those possibilities and potentials to emphasize that third house of yours. All right, so Cancers, hope you guys have a fantastic week. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next week.